Can you talk about managing your appetite in a caloric deficit? This is a fun and exciting topic that is best started by delineating between satiation and satiety. Satiation is the process of feeling full during eating. That would stop you from continuing to eat. Satiety is the inhibition of hunger between meals and can be best described as the duration of appetite suppression between meals. When it comes to initial satiety that would inhibit us from continuing to eat, this is mainly influenced by gastric distension, essentially stretching of the stomach, which signals via receptors within the gastrointestinal tract to the brain to stop food intake. Therefore, things that will increase stomach volume during the meal can be helpful at inducing satiation. This includes eating a lower energy density diet, such as eating more fruits, vegetables, high water foods, and minimally processed foods. Trying to maximize the amount of food that you can eat for the amount of calories you are consuming. Adding in things like unflavored gelatin, which would get you about a Tupperware container full of gelatin for only about 20 calories. And switching out many processed foods for their unprocessed counterparts, such as switching out olive oil for olives. Oil is one of the easiest places to add calories without adding additional volume. We also see that drinking water prior to or during a meal can increase satisfaction and decrease food intake. So can having a low-calorie soup, because both of which fill up the stomach, without adding many or any additional calories, but adding substantially to stomach volume. We also see that protein and fiber, especially when provided prior to the main meal, induce early meal satiety in which an individual eats less at that given meal. And as we will discuss, a high fiber, high protein meal is uniquely satiating, in which it will suppress our appetite for much longer than a low fiber, low protein meal. As we then move into satiation, one of the most important things are the macronutrients in your food and the speed at which food is digested. Slower digesting foods that prolong the amount of time food is within the intestinal tract improve satiety, which is the amount of time we can go between meals. Foods that are harder and require more chewing and mechanical digestion induce more satiety than softer foods. One of the things that affects this quite drastically includes food texture, because it takes longer for us to fully digest them. We also see that solid meals will keep you fuller for longer, even if it is the exact same food, just blended up. And unprocessed foods inducing far greater intrameal satiety than processed foods, which can drastically reduce total caloric intake for that given day. Similar to satiation, it appears that protein and fiber are the most effective at increasing satiety. We're also seeing that replacing digestible starches with resistant starches improves satiety. Resistant starch is naturally found in foods that already contain a high starch content, such as unripe fruit, oats, potatoes, beans, and whole grains. However, storing things like bread in the refrigerator, or cooking and cooling your starches, such as cooking rice and allowing it to cool in the fridge for 24 hours, as well as changing your cooking method from frying to boiling or roasting, can all increase the resistant starch content of the carbohydrates we are consuming. Another nutrient includes fat, in which polyunsaturated fats elicit a greater satiety than saturated or monounsaturated fats. Dietary polyphenols are also uniquely satiating, and these are found in abundance in colorful plant foods, and even more concentrated in herbs and spices. And to round us off, sticking with herbs, it appears that capsaicin, the molecule in spicy food, also decreases energy intake at that given meal and decreases desire to eat afterwards. And the very last thing I will touch on isn't food, but actually sleep, as sleep loss can increase appetite, but sufficient sleep can decrease appetite and total daily caloric intake. So hopefully the take-home messages are: get good sleep. To reduce your hunger at a given meal, eat higher volume, lower calorie foods. And to improve your satiety between meals, consume more polyunsaturated fats and less saturated fats, harder food textures, less processed foods. Eat more protein, more fiber, more resistant starches, more polyphenols and phytonutrients, and possibly some more spicy. And if you would like help with this, send me a DM to sign up for coaching.